following it all. Legal affairs journalist Meghann Cuniff, also known as Meghann the Reporter. So good to see you again. Hey girl, hey, how are you doing?
Great to see you. Thanks for having me.
You've blown up on TikTok. I was so happy when I saw you were on this one as well. That's the first thing, and we're going to hear some of what happened to just make this case so viral. But how are you landing all these cases? Are you superstar specific just because there's always so much juice there?
Is there some kind of magnetic force going on or something? I don't know. This one just kind of fell in my lap. Somebody said, hey, are you covering Cardi B's trial? And I thought to myself, what Cardi B trial? But then I looked it up and I said, oh, yeah, no, definitely. I'm going to cover this one. And here we are. It's taken the internet by storm.
And here we are. So before we get to it all, Cardi B has had a lot of sass during her testimony here. So we want to play just a few of these clips that have gone viral in the last few moments of this trial. Watch this.
Yesterday you had black hair, short hair. Today it's blonde and long. Which one is your real hair? Or are they both real?
They're wigs.
Okay, sorry, I didn't know that. It's a good week today then. How long are those fingernails? Just your best estimate. I don't want you to take a ruler to it, but if you were to give your estimate, is that half an inch, 1 inch, 2 inches?
I think it has to be less than an inch.
Okay, so I just want to jump right into this case. I want to know from you, Meghann, bottom line, do you believe that Ellis's story holds up under cross, or are there just too many inconsistencies?
I think Cardi's lawyers have done a great job of finding their own witnesses who actually were eyewitnesses to this and contradict her testimony pretty well. They have actually found the doctor that Cardi saw and his receptionist, who both say that there was no physical confrontation, that Cardi did not touch the woman, and that the security guard actually seemed to be the one who instigated it and was out of control here.
And of course, you know, they're going to have two different stories, but based on what was said in court, it does seem like this other woman did instigate this with approaching Cardi, having her cell phone out. I know that the jurors were allowed to ask questions. Was there anything worthy that came out of any of the juror questions?
It seemed like they were really the fact that there were eyewitnesses to this. They didn't have any questions for Cardi, which I thought was funny, but they did have questions for Tiara Malcolm, who was the receptionist who witnessed this whole thing. They wanted to know about Cardi's demeanor and how she was during this thing. And Malcolm's testimony overall supported Cardi's defense that while she was upset and using profanity with the woman, she was not physically touching her or using any kind of slurs or anything like that with her.
I have found, and this is my personal opinion, I think regardless of whether you're a fan of Cardi B or even a fan of rap, I have found Cardi to be very likable during this court hearing. Do you think that is going to translate to the jury? I mean, it's undeniable these clips are going viral. Places are covering this Cardi B trial that would never talk about Cardi B in any capacity, lawsuit or not. And I think because you have literally upwards of 20 million people watching some of these clips, you've got to wonder what's going on. Why is it going so viral?
Yeah, I think people forget the plaintiff's attorneys really here are banking on jurors not liking Cardi B. The idea of a female rapper who's kind of raunchy, they think that's really not going to be a good sell. But they forget that she was a social media star before she was a rapper, and she just has this real magnetic pull to her that's a rare quality in people, and it really comes out on the witness stand.
So what if the jury says, okay, no assault, but we'll award you some damages? What verdict shape and appeals fight do you think that we're really looking at realistically?
I think the first issue is, can they find liability on this? And if they don't find liability, that really wipes out any possibility of damages. But there are certain claims. I think there's an assault claim. There might be a battery claim, emotional distress. There are a few things that they need to talk about. And one thing their questions indicated is they're not so much focused on the personality of the lawyers or the fact that, you know, the lawyers stumble over their questions. They're really trying to look at the facts of the case and what's going on here. So that could work in the plaintiff's favor if they don't hold the plaintiff's attorneys kind of bumbling in court against her.
Okay, Meghann, very, very quickly, you've been on Megan Thee Stallion's case, Diddy, Tory Lanez. Is there a favorite so far? Is there one that you think, okay, this is the one everyone should be watching?
This one is just so weird in how the case is playing out and how it almost seems like, is this trial even real? So I think a lot of other trials might have had bigger implications that there were criminal cases, somebody's freedom is on the line. This one kind of has a silly effect to it. But I think it's also a window into the minds of how America's minds are changing and how we're thinking and how people interpret questions, how people ask questions, and how we relay information.
Well, on behalf of the community, you've been dubbed Meghann the Reporter after your coverage on Megan Thee Stallion's trial. You can go pick up, by the way, some of Meghann the Reporter's merchandise. You see it right here. Head over to MeghannTheReporter.com. Thank you, Meghann. We have to run. Good to see you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Always good to see you.
Quick break. We'll be right back.